All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Roboplex here at Marcus High School, and we are getting ready to begin match number one. We've got a couple of folks here in the booth who are going to give you some commentary during the event, one expert and me, the non-expert. So here on your left is field number one, to your right is field number two. We're going to start on field number one with four fantastic teams. Take us through those teams.
Yes, today we have on the Red Alliance, we've got Callisburg RoboCats and their teammate, the Metal Manipulators. Callisburg's out of Callisburg High School, and the Metal Manipulators are out of Flower Mound, Texas. Their opponents are going to be Chuckleheads, a local team from right here at Marcus High School, and Prototype, which is one of 5 FTC teams that Flower Mound High School nearby is fielding this year.
Looking at these robots from a scrimmage a few weeks ago, quite a few changes that I've noticed since that date.
Absolutely, you saw a lot of teams that just really were not ready at that point, and they had robots that could maybe push a cone or two, weren't necessarily getting a whole lot of lift, didn't really have their autonomous ready. The turret system on the Callisburg robot especially I'm really excited to see that going. When I was interviewing the team in the pit earlier, they were really proud of that design.
Yeah, that looks incredible. I can't wait to see it. A lot of elevator type bots, it looks like, and a lot of smaller footprints than we saw a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think the teams noticed that they really don't need to be that tall in order to get onto the high if they can just get their angle right. And so the first randomization is going to be that lucky number 2. It means the robots in autonomous only have to drive forward into the second or third tile in order to score for autonomous.
And for those of you who are new, scoring and watching these robots score may take a couple of matches to get down, but we'll do our best to help you out. So the first phase is going to be the autonomous mode, and parking in that right spot gives you 10 points, but you get a 10-point bonus if you use a custom sleeve on that cone?
Yes, so all of you'll notice the 4 sleeves. Oh, and we're about to start.
And we're off. So we've got 3 robots operating here in autonomous mode.
Callisburg tried to score and didn't quite make it, but it looks like they're going to go for a cone. They were... Oh! They've got kind of a precarious hold on that one. I don't think they're going to actually be able to score that one during the autonomous. They might be able to fix that during the teleop phase.
And is that a scoring position?
No, that's not where they need to be in order to score for the zone. The 20-point bonus there, fortunately.
All right. Well, all 4 robots rapidly moving to the driver phase here.
Yeah, let's see. Chuckleheads looks like they're trying to get positioned so that they can pick up one of their own cones. Prototype is hurting a cone over, but I don't think they've
got 2
got
cones
the right
there. They
one.
got a blue and a red there.
Well, one of them is that signal cone, so that one does not count as a scoring element at all. They can move that. Basically, they can do anything they want with that one out of the ring. We do have rules in place for the audience's safety on this one.
Yeah.
Callisburg's picking up a cone, and they score on a high.
Yeah. So, folks, that tall pole is going to give you a 5-point score. That's the best point you can get on any of the tall scoring elements there.
And on top of that, if your cone is the top cone, you get a 3-point bonus.
That's kind of like controlling that particular unit. It looks like we've lost a robot out there on the far side. I believe that's the Chuckleheads. Might be dead in the water over there. In fact, they've put their controllers down. They've definitely got a disabled bot at this point in time.
And in FTC competitions, what that means is that basically you're surrendered. And as long as you're not in a zone on the field where you are incurring penalties for blocking, you're fine. You cannot score. They will not count any penalties against you at that point.
So at this point, they're really hopeful that their partner can rack up some points here.
Absolutely, yes. They need to rely on their partner, either score, and it looks like hey they capped one of the low junctions, so that's a 10-point bonus on top of the 2 points for getting there.
All right, they just snuck one more low point element there at the end.
Blue Alliance 36, Red Alliance 34. I don't think all of the red cones on that high junction are a part of that calculation yet. And it'll be a while before those scores finalize, so we'll see how that turns out.
That looks like 30 points all by itself almost. They really racked up that tall cone score.
Yeah, it looks like there's 6 on there. That'd be 30, and then the 3-point bonus for controlling that junction.
And all these cones over here that got knocked over, no penalties for that.
There's no penalties for knocking over cones that are your Alliance Colors cones. Most robots, though, don't have a way of picking up cones that are on their side. Every year there's some sort of scoring element, and it's always really interesting to see whether or not the teams take the time to try to game plan around that, or if they just use those as kind of dead in the water.
Well, as we get ready for qualifying match number 2, it looks like we got the Red Alliance made up of Epic Adventurer and Louisville High School against Technical Difficulties and Captain Tech.
Yeah, Louisville High School is actually interesting. They're back after a 2-year hiatus. They've got a new coach. She's hit the ground running. She's really excited about working with these kids, and we're really looking forward to relaunching robotics with Louisville High School.
It looks like Captain Tech's a relatively new team based on that team number.
Yes, they are. They are a team out of Frisco. They're a rookie community team. We'll see how they do in their very first match in FTC. Oh, we have official scores for the match. Blue Alliance wins with a final score of 46-44.
Wow, tight match. Holy smokes. Well, the Chuckleheads can thank their partners for that one.
Absolutely.
So right now, watch the camera. He's checking to make sure the teams are ready. And then when he signals for randomization.
Now, the Blue Alliance for match number 2 features Team 7172 Technical Difficulties. This is a team that made it to Worlds last year, was a Think Award finalist and a semifinalist captain.
Yeah, everybody in the North Texas region really looks at that 7172 team because they are usually class of the field.
Oh, for most teams, they would be happy just to be at Worlds. This is a team that they expect to do well at Worlds.
So what we're saying, folks, is pay attention. This is an amazing robot you're about to watch.
No pressure, Patrick. No pressure whatsoever.
Looks like we're getting the last robot ready to roll here, folks.
Patrick today is rocking his periwinkle purple instead of his usual royal purple. Oh, and they get the lucky number 2 again.
Here we go. Spin those cones. We have 4 unique elements. No, 3 customs, 1 stock. Be interesting to watch 7172's autonomous phase here. All right, we got 3 active robots working the autonomous phase.
Louisville manages to score in the autonomous. Looks like Technical Difficulties doesn't quite get their piece scored there, but they are parked. And I believe Prototype was able to get in. I can't quite see through that one referee.
It It looks like they're in the right location there. So red team's going to have a little advantage going into the driver phase here.
Yes, they are. Now, Prototype told me that they've got the turret design. They couldn't quite get it working. They should have it ready to go in a couple of weeks when we come back for the second meet of the season. Right now, they do have a really impressive lift piece.
Oh.
Ooh, 7172 doesn't quite grab the cone from the stack there. And they've got that one hung up. They're very, very cognizant of trying not to incur any penalty points from that stack by controlling more than one at a time.
They got quite an extension robot.
Yes, they do.
Well, they're working the extension, but they're not grabbing any cones. Meanwhile, their partner's scoring points on a medium-sized pole. And we have one red team robot that looks like it's down for the count right now.
Oh. See, they've got that wide chassis, which is actually going to help them stay balanced while their arm goes up. But the difficulty with that is maneuvering around all those poles, because all of those poles, if you've got your maximum 18 inches on each side with the mechanism wheels, you're looking at only having about 3 inches of give on each side.
Yep. Meanwhile, the other red robot's back into life. He's starting to come to it, and that extra points on the autonomous has got them still hanging on to a lead here.
Yeah, it looks like the Louisville robot is not moving. I'm not sure what's going on over there. If a wire came loose, or if they or a battery disconnected or something.
Well, Captain Tech is scoring lots of points here. They got a few seconds left to try to score one more. See if they can get the Blue Alliance back in the mix here. They're trying to get to a parking spot, and they do. Oh no, and they backed out. They were in the parking spot, and they backed out. They're not going to get the points for that.
No, unfortunately not. Well, and the other thing is they were actually going into the red terminal, so they wouldn't have gotten any points for the parking there. They're on the Blue Alliance, so
you got to park in your blue corner square, or can you go in the side square? Your terminal where you drop off
your substation for parking, not in the end game phase.
All right, so
you need to be in either the terminal, either in your near corner or the far corner. Now, in the autonomous section, you can get points for parking in the substation or the near terminal. You cannot cross the center line to park over there. Or you can, you just won't get any points, and you risk a lot of penalty points if you accidentally slam into another team's robot while you're in the autonomous phase.
And for those of you folks who are trying to keep score, when penalties are assessed, they are not taken away from your score. They are simply added to the other alliance's score at the end. And as you can see, this match right now with our live scoring is only 4 points different. So the final tally is really going to come into play, and if there are any penalties, that could be the deciding factor. Yes,
absolutely. And this morning you did notice there were a few matches where literally 2 or 3 penalties was the difference between a win and a loss for matches.
And we've got a winner.
Red Alliance wins the final score of 52-48.
And on the other one, folks, on your left, we're about to kick off. All right, we're going to get rolling here. Oh, the Blue Alliance.
Match number 1 is going to feature the Red Alliance Marvels of Mass out of Richardson, Texas, and their teammate, another rookie team, Error 422 out of Flower Mound, Texas.
And then we've got the Java Nuts and Syntech out of Irving, Texas, and Frisco, respectively.
Drivers.
Yes, the Irving team is they're really proud of their intake, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. That was the one thing they mentioned when we were doing our pre-morning interviews. They said that it was completely incapable of failing, basically.
Well, so far so good. They picked the first one up. They got those really nice suckers, it looks like, on their pickup device.
It almost looks like they took an intake wheel and mounted it sort of diagonally. Um, those have a lot of give. It's a spongy kind of rubbery, which should stick up with have a lot of friction when they're going after their scoring elements.
On the Blue Alliance is rocking. They got 3 cones scored. Our Red Alliance team, we got one. It's a kind of a pusher bot. Looks like they're trying to push to corner scores or the ground beacons. And our other Red Alliance robot seems to be a little got a flat tire out there. Looks like maybe. Oh, Red Alliance did push one onto the ground beacon. Now, when they get a ground beacon and the other team knocks it off, that will be a penalty.
You know what? They actually were saying there's going to be 2 penalties: one for touching the other alliance's scoring element, and one for descoring one. So that'd be a 20-point swing, or the equivalent of stacking 4 cones on the high junction.
All right, our red robot that was with the flat tires repaired. They're out there moving pretty quick, trying to get some points made up here.
And that's an interesting looking intake piece. They were able to score on a low. That's something to salvage this match.
That's it. Well, they're
Oh,
quickly trying
and
to
it looks
catch
like they've
back
got
up.
both the beacon and the cone. You can control both at the same time. I'm not sure where they're trying to score that. Looks like on
Putting
a
on
low over
element
there.
over there. All right.
Oh, and they get out just in time.
Look at that.
I'm not sure how Emily's going to call that. We're going to look, but it looked from this angle like they were just barely able to clear the cone. Because if any part of their robot was still touching either the cone or the beacon, none of that would have scored.
That was a tight match. A lot of blue cones scored. That's a unique element there on that short pull there.
The red one or the blue one?
The blue one over there.
Oh, yes. Okay, so that's the team scoring element. Each team can bring their own team scoring element. They actually have to bring 2, one red and one blue. It has to be a minimum of 3 inches by 3 inches. And then it can fit on top of the cone or on top of the pole or go all the way down on it.
All right, we've got a next match over here on field number 2, folks. To your right, random is complete. It's area number 1, so driver's left.
So qualification match number 4, we've already got Louisville back in the fray, and they're going to be teamed with RoboGuard out of Bullard, Texas. This is one of the teams I was unfortunately not able to speak to. Their teammates are going to be the Vikings out of their opponents are going to be the Vikings out of Arlington, Texas, and Raider Prime out of Winsboro.
Oh, final scores coming up. 3. Blue Alliance takes that one. 81 to 61.
Game points were all the difference for that right there.
Absolutely. The blue team really pouring on those cones.
So as we were talking about the team scoring element, if you get one of those onto a junction, that means that nobody else can score on that junction right there, and it's worth 10 points.
And that only goes on during the end game, the final 30 seconds of the match.
You can only introduce that element during the end game, yes.
So, folks, when you are looking at those final scores, you're going to see those 4 categories: the autonomous section, driver-controlled end game, and penalties. Each one of those elements has their own scoring rules. All right, we're off and moving. Looks like we got 3 robots, all 4 of them moving to our autonomous in this match. Oh, somebody tried to score a cone during autonomous and was just short.
Vikings are able to score on a low junction. Now let's see whether or not they can get into the right zone. It looks like they did.
Wow.
Just in time, too. Now, I'm not sure if they had their own signal sync or not. No, they don't. So, unfortunately, they only get 10 instead of the full 20.
All right, here we go.
Now, Raider Prime, you'll notice, because the drive team are all wearing those cowboy hats.
A little team camaraderie. How important is that for the team, to kind of have that identity?
You know what? In this sort of setup where we've got the meets, it's not as important. Now, when we come to the judge portions, the tournament, the super qualifier, and regionals, judges absolutely see that kind of stuff, and it can be the difference between taking home a trophy and not. If it's between two teams that are, all else being equal. It also, I find as a coach, it helps with the team spirit. It helps, give your team a sense of pride, and even if it's something really, really goofy. We've seen teams that where the entire team wears Darth Vader capes, and they just really, really lean into it.
Yeah, they breathe funny too.
Yes, they were all asthmatic.
All right, looks like we got some robots trying to score some points. Got a Red Alliance with a signal beacon trying to pick it up and move it around, and they're just having a hard time getting that thing going.
I'm not sure what they're doing with that. They're not. You're not going to be able to score any points there. So.
All right, we got a blue team dropping one on the medium scoring point. Now we're into the end game. Final 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's RoboGuard out of Bullard, Texas. And it looks like their teammate or their alliance partner is kind of stuck in the substation. That's going to make it really, really hard for them to grab any cones or score anything in the last 10 seconds of the match here.
Right, at this point, you want to get that last scoring point and get parked, right?
And a lot of teams are not parking just because it's only you only get 2 points for it, but it's 2 very, very easy points if you can. If you're getting hung up on trying to score that beacon or that team scoring element, then there's no, it's probably better to just cut your losses and get the 2, especially since the second tiebreaker for this season is how many points you score in endgame.
That will come to somebody's advantage at some point for sure.
Yes.
And to be parked, part of your robot or the whole thing has got to be in there?
The definition for this one is in, and that means you literally just have to have a toe on the tape.
All right. Well, as we...
Hopefully not a toe. Hopefully none of the robots came equipped with toes this year.
That might...
that would just be disgusting.
That would be a little odd. All right, coming on... As we get ready for qualifying match number 5, we've got the Red Alliance made up of Prototype and Technical Difficulties against the Blue Alliance of the Java Nuts and Error 422. All right. Looks like both Red Alliance teams have preloaded a cone, as has both Blue Alliance teams.
For match number 4. Red Alliance wins with a final score of 58-21. 20 blue penalty points and 10 red penalty points.
That was quite the factor there. Big difference there. Obviously, the end game was huge for the red team. So the Technical Difficulties team has a customized sleeve here. Any of the blue teams have customized sleeves?
Neither of them brought customized sleeves, which is surprising because you really there's a template online. You just put your own image or color or whatever on there, print it up, attach it with one piece of tape, and you're good. I'm kind of surprised that neither of the teams decided to do that for this match, considering it doesn't take very long.
I'll bet we have one for next match,
I would imagine they correct that. Yes.
especially once you see how close these matches are. Those 10 points can be a big difference maker.
Yes, yes. The Javanauts are a rookie community team out of North Irving, kind of the Irving-Capel border area, which is my old stomping grounds.
And their comrades are right out of Flower Mound, just up the street here. Error 422.
Yes, unfortunately, that was another one of the teams I was not able to chat with before today's event. They were still going through the field inspection while I was getting my information. Again, they are going against technical difficulties, who are preeminent favorites in every match they are, or every event they attend. And Prototype, the rookie team from Flower Mound High School.
Oh, here's that interesting gripper again.
Randomize.
We've seen a lot of number twos.
Yeah. Okay, now you can show match.
Kind of wish we had gotten that lucky with the number twos during the morning session. Our team probably would have a whole lot more points, especially since we lost at least 3 of those by 10 points or less.
Yeah, boy, that is a big difference maker. Okay, both red teams moving to autonomous here.
Now, technical difficulties will try to score here. Not quite over the pole. Just missed it, but they back up to make sure that they're getting position.
Looks like both of them are in the money. There should be 30 points. Is there a penalty if you missed a pole on that section?
No, there's no penalty for accidentally not scoring as long as you're only touching your own scoring elements or your own alliance's scoring elements.
3, 2, 1.
All right, here we go. Driver portion. Wow.
Whoa!
That little red bot is moving quick.
Yeah, and just took a whole bunch of penalties. I'm not. Error 422 has got some serious errors here. Knocking over the entire stack of red cones. That's going to be probably at least 5, if not more, minor penalties right there. I think what's happening right there, and this is one of those things that teams that are like rookie teams really have to learn, is you've got to cut back on the power on your motors, especially with the mechanism wheels, because the control just isn't there. Javanauts looks like they're about to score on a high junction. I can't quite see. Oh, just misses.
Bounced off of there. It like rimmed right out. Technical difficulties with that super reach. Trying to go grab some of these cones. Their partner's got like a flip-up arm.
And I'm not sure what's happening, or if they're... Okay, so they've got a basically a 2-stage delivery system. They've got a gripper that pulls back and then pops it up, goes on feeds into the second arm. That arm raises up. Pardon me. And if they get into the position and into a good rhythm, I think you're going to see, yeah, this looks like a robot. When they get all of the bugs out, they are absolutely going to be able to score probably at least 10 cones on that high pole, which is why they're not even thinking about going for a circuit this year. They're just, something's going on with an arm. Not quite sure what.
Oh.
They scored on a medium instead of turning it around. I don't.
Oh, we're in the end game. We got a custom element coming. Oh, couldn't score it. Wow, a lot of cones littering the field on this one.
But you will notice, yeah, look at this. This is absolutely going to be the highest score of the day so far. Preliminary scoring has 189 to 31. I'm not sure if anything got unscored or if we have or if there are going to be any penalties awarded to either side. But it does look like this will be, I mean, almost double what the highest score for this morning's series was.
Yeah, I just need to see what the penalties do there. Red almost had a circuit. If they had that middle ground beacon, that would be a circuit, an extra 20-point bonus.
Well, they also needed to score in the terminal. That was.
Oh, you got to get a ground.
They've got. You've got to have. That's one thing that a lot of teams have missed, and we noticed that at the scrimmage. One of the things that we noticed at the scrimmage was there were teams that thought they had a circuit scored, but they didn't have a cone in each of the terminals.
Yeah, got to have those terminals. I'm trying to look right now. It looks like there's only one. I can't see over here if we do have the other one.
In qualification match number 6, we're going to have Callisburg RoboCats out of Callisburg High School. This is another team that we've seen many, many times over the last couple of years. Really exciting, always fun to watch them. And their teammate, Epic Adventurers, out of Plano, Texas. They're a rookie team. They're going up against the Metal Manipulators, who we saw in match number 1, and RoboGuard. RoboGuard is out of Bullard, Texas.
And for those of you watching at the scoreboard, you're going to notice the event rank here and their league rank. So the first session of league was run this morning. This is why you're seeing these lead rank scores being a little below, because those other teams were able to run a full 5-match complement this morning. But today's ranks, you can see where they sit. So Epic Adventure, so far, sitting at number 2 for the day in this session.
Final score for match number 5. Red Alliance wins 204 to 37.
Holy smokes, 204 points, folks. That is.
And then,
Wow. You were right. When they knocked over that stack of cones, that was a compounding penalty. 100 penalty points.
you need to figure out a way to block out a window. Did anybody bring a paintball gun? I'm kidding. I don't own the building. And I do work for the district.
That's right. Will not tell your name. You are Mr. Black today.
I am, yes. Yes. Johnson. I go by, yeah.
Special Agent Johnson.
John was my confirmation name.
As we get ready to start this, looks like we got one bot getting looked over here on the blue squad.
Yes, RoboGuard out of Bullard, Texas. I'm not quite sure what they're adjusting there. Got a blue circle.
22673.
Error 422. Would somebody from Error 422 please come back to ring number 1 to pick up your alliance marker? I see somebody moving quickly, so hopefully that's the right person.
All right, so you guys in the audience, you're going to notice we're going to, obviously, these 2 fields, we're going to do rapid fire. So occasionally we run into a delay. This other match is just getting ready to run. So please keep your attention to the right. That's the match that's coming up.
We're trying to get you home as quickly as possible so you can watch that college football action.
And randomization, not the most fortuitous.
No, number 4, which means that all robots have to go to zone number 1.
Both Red Alliances have customized sleeves, so huge bonus points ready to go here.
Callisburg just barely misses that high junction again. They're going for a second cone. They were having a little bit of trouble picking it up in the first match as well, I remember.
Yeah.
Don't quite get there, but you know what? They've got a lot to build on. That's really, really an impressive design. I'm looking forward to seeing it when it's fully realized.
Driver, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
Let's see if the human element can pick up those cones a little better than the autonomous for that red robot. I noticed this a lot too. You get a little congestion around your supply station.
Yes, and this is where, and this was something that we noticed a lot of during the first series of matches this morning. You've got to make sure that you and your teammate are communicating about where's the best place to get your to get the scoring, how you can stay out of each other's way. Callisburg kind of launches one out.
Right.
I'm not sure quite what happened there. I didn't get a good look.
Not sure how they're doing that. Are you allowed to launch the cones to try to score them?
Okay, this is one of those areas where intention becomes paramount to the judge's decision or the referee's decision. If it kind of flies a little bit because you're dropping it at a weird angle, that's one thing. If you're throwing the cones, you absolutely will get a penalty. And if it becomes a regular thing, you know, there's no launching in this game.
Right. Red element scores again.
They've got 3 on that high pole. That's going to be, or on that high junction.
That's 15 points right there. Their coach is directing them to the supply depot on the side there.
Well, since you've already got a bunch on there, if you've got a robot that can pick up from a stack, then, you know, that's advantageous. You know, some of these robots have a sort of inverted claw where it picks up from the inside. That makes picking them up when they're stacked like that a lot more difficult, but it can be a little bit easier to control the cones. You'll also notice that some of these teams are having a lot of trouble driving when their arms are fully extended. That's because they've raised their center of gravity just a little too high. Makes your motion a little bit herky-jerky on the, especially with the mechanism wheels.
Absolutely. Well, when that match ends, we got a litter of cones kind of all over the place, but preliminary scoring of a Red Alliance at 58, Blue at 21. Over here on field number 1, folks, we've got the Red Alliance of Syntech and Raider Prime up against the Vikings and the Chuckleheads of Marcus High School. Chuckleheads made it to state last year. See a bunch of Letterman jackets out here, folks, because this is a UIL rated sport for the state of Texas.
Yeah, they told me they got 5th overall in points when they were at the state tournament, which, you know, gotta love that that dedication and that result. Didn't quite do as well in the playoff matches, but, you know, for a first-year team, that's still incredibly impressive.
Yeah,
and we got lucky number 5. That means that the robots just have to drive forward a couple of feet.
All right, it looks like all the robots are the stock symbols.
We've got final scores started for match number 6. And it is 58-21, Red Alliance.
All right, that autonomous, again, well, both driver control and autonomous, dominated by the Red Alliance.
And that catapults prototype to the first spot for this afternoon's matches. And they're already in 12th overall out of both leagues. We're about ready to start match number 7 on field number 1.
Wow, that Syntech bot is very quick getting to his spot for the autonomous section.
Syntech is a rookie team out of Frisco, Texas, mostly comprised of 8th graders. They're extremely happy with the logo that they came up with. They did part. I can't quite see from this angle if they've got their own signal sleeve or not.
And the Viking bot tried to drop a cone for the Blue Alliance. Didn't quite get it on par.
Controller. 2, 1.
Right, here we go.
Red Alliance was able to score 31 points in autonomous.
That's going to give him a great advantage going into the driver controlled section.
You know, with as many matches as we've seen so far today that have been settled by less than 10 points, yes, if you've got any kind of autonomous, then you've got a serious advantage.
Here comes the Red Alliance putting their cone on that ground beacon right by the supply depot here for the blue. It's going to be a hazard, like you'd mentioned, with penalties.
Right. FTC usually doesn't have a game that's very defensive, but there is one major defensive strategy this season, and that's going to be scoring that ground junction right in front of the other team's substation. What that does is it makes so that the robots, especially with these mechanism wheels, you like to be able to square up to whatever you're targeting. When you're doing anything at an angle, it makes it a little bit more precarious. Your drivers really have to train around that. Now, whenever the Blue Alliance tries to pick up any kind of cone from that substation, they've got to make sure that they're attacking it from an angle, because if they bump or knock off that red cone, it can be two minor penalties. That would give the Red Alliance 20 points.
I believe the Red Alliance might be setting themselves up for a circuit here as well.
It does look like they're really, really close to it so far.
I don't think we saw one of those in the first round.
I don't recall. You said we did see one, or
I don't think we saw one this morning. So they still got to get that center beacon to make that happen. Oh, I guess
you
that
don't
beacon
have
there,
to
too.
have the center junction. They just have to be able to touch. Yeah, and you have to make sure that you got one in each terminal. Chuckleheads is content right now to just kind of herd cones into the into the corner. Those only count for one, but you know what? If you can get those fast enough, then it's probably better to score, 5 or 6 in there really, really fast than to spend the entire 2 minutes of teleop trying to score on a high junction.
Absolutely. Sometimes the quick points at lower volume will add up way more than that one big hitter.
Now, I'm not sure. I can see a cone over here in this terminal for red. Is there one in the far one as well?
There's one over there.
Okay, so I think we do have our first junction of the afternoon. So we've got a score of 118 to 20. Again, that's going to shift, but we'll see how penalties are assessed. That might be the highest non-penalty assisted score for this afternoon.
Any TCU football fans out there? Yeah? Okay, well, we'll give you a quick little scoring update. Go ahead.
They hit a game-winning field goal as the clock expired to beat Baylor.
So Horned Frogs staying undefeated, it looks like. How about that?
So for qualification match number 8, we've got the Marvels of Moss and the Javanauts against the Blue Alliance of Captain Tech and Callisburg Robotics. This is going to feature 3 rookie teams, and then the team out of Callisburg High School that again has that turret system.
And they're coming in as 5th ranked for the afternoon. So that turret system appears to be working quite well.
They did score quite a few. I think I remember they had 6 on a high junction in the last match.
I think that's right. Final scores are in for match 7. Red Alliance takes that one, and 118 points. 10 of those penalty. 108 though native points. That might be the high for the day or close to it.
The highest non-penalty with 108 points without the penalty there, and that I think is the highest we've seen.
And you can see they both elevated in rank. They're 3rd and 4th for the day, the afternoon session, and 15th and 16th overall, and only halfway through. All right. We're randomizing over on field number 2, folks.
We've got a 4. That means they need to park in zone number 1. So your robots are going to have to move forward 1 or 2 squares and then to the left.
How many custom sleeves have we got out there? 1 blue, 1 red.
1 blue and 1 red. Okay.
All right, autonomous. There you go. There's your catapult. Whoa. Well, trying to score with the cone, but released it a little bit early and just off the mark.
Looks like Captain Tech was able to park in the corner, so they're just content to take the quick points there.
The autonomous is having trouble picking up those cones right now. That's something that's a dial in, but they're close.
They are close. I think they just need
Drivers,
a
pick up
few
your controller.
tweaks to their gripper on the mechanism, and they'll have it.
All right.
Nothing is going to take very long.
All right. So Captain Tech on the move. That bot's pretty quick and scores on a medium pole right away. They're just going to score again. They're stacking them up on that medium-sized pole.
You'll notice with Captain Tech, they look like they've got amazing control until that arm above about 12 to 15 inches. Then all of a sudden the driver train becomes a little wonky. Right. It's just one of those things where you've got to practice with your driver and your gunner being in sync. They've got to communicate. They've got to make sure that when they're driving, they know what the other guy is about to do.
And it looks like they're comfortable going to that medium-sized pole. They're not even going for the tall one.
They're not even going for the tall one. Right. Look, if I can score 5 on the medium-sized ones in the same time it takes me to score 2, then, 5 mediums is 20 points. I could even, if getting to the next level is going to slow me down, or it's not as precise, it's not as reliable, then it's really not worth it.
All right. Meanwhile, our 158 Callisburg, yeah, they are going for the tall junction, and they're getting it. They've got 2 in a row now. Now they're going for a short one.
Java Knots out of Irving, Texas is scoring quite a few over there. Sorry we're not calling them as much. I just can't see. And they're covering up one of the blue cones to take control of that junction. That's going to be a 3-point bonus if it stands now that we're in endgame. They've also got, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8. I can't quite see. I'm getting old in my, I can't quite see in my old age. Looks like they've got 7 on a high junction. That's going to be a ton of points right there.
Right. So clearly we're going to have a point cleanup on this one.
Yes, the early scoring has blue 40, blue 50, red 40, and that is not going to be even remotely close to how this one finishes.
And I think our Blue Alliance has got 4 or 5 on that medium pole, and I'm not sure 2 or 3 on that tall one. So definitely taking advantage of local geography here to score quick from that Blue Alliance side supply house.
Right. And it's gonna be really interesting to see. Every year, the game tends to evolve a little bit over the course of the season as the robots get stronger. The teams start to change their strategies. It's going to be really, really interesting to see if the teams start crossing that center line a little bit more often, or if teams start trying to risk more to go for the circuit, if they start trying to cover up the other team's junctions. All of that will be, it'll be fun to watch. I always like watching that part of this, remembering where we started at the scrimmage, for example, and then seeing how the robots have evolved by the time we get to regionals.
And the strategies do change quite a bit. All right, qualification round number 9 on field 1 on your left side, folks. We already got the randomization.
We've got a score for match number 8. Blue Alliance wins. Final score 72 to 48. No penalty points for either.
Wow, clean match. Look at that. Driver control. Huge score at the blue team.
And as match number 9 starts, we've got Syntech out of Frisco, Texas. They move into the zone. I think that's where they were supposed to go. Can't quite see.
They're supposed to be in the driver's side right, so we got both Blue Alliance teams, I think, in the right spot, and one Red Alliance
It looks
team.
like it, yes. So we've got Raider Prime out of Winsboro, Texas, and who is their teammate? I couldn't quite
Drivers.
place them.
Controller.
It's Raider Prime and
Epic Adventurer.
there we go.
1.
So blue team's got a bit of a lead going into the driver control section due to that healthy autonomous score.
Right, 2 custom sleeves and 2 parked in zones, plus they got an extra point. They must have scored in one of the terminals or substation.
Syntech scoring on a tall pull and going back for a second off this side stack here from this. These robots really it's pretty hard to kind of make sure they're in the right spot.
Yeah, I'd be really, really surprised to see if they don't cut their power on those motors down considerably by the time we get to the next meet.
All right.
Because it looks like, I mean, right there, he almost unscored his, he almost unscored that ground junction. They're picking their pieces up upside down to score on the medium junctions. That's interesting. I have not seen that approach so far this year. We'll see if any other teams decide to try to copy that design, but I really like the creativity and the ingenuity there.
Yeah, it looks like I got one blue robot over there. It's a little trouble getting going. Oh, now they're moving.
Now, oh, okay, so this is interesting. What they did right there, they knocked over the cone, but because they still kind of had a grip on it, they were able to pick it up anyway. And they can score it either right side up or upside down. They are going to have to be a little bit careful to see whether or not they, and I think they just got a penalty for that. They were controlling 2 cones at once because they kind of tipped both of them back while they were trying to pick up the second one.
Got it.
And it actually looks like they're close to scoring a circuit. I think they've got one in the medium.
I don't know if they got the corner lots. Oh, couldn't drop the custom element on the
Preliminary scoring is really, really tight here. 67 to 73. They're still tallying up the scores, so this one could be just a matter of 1 or 2 penalties. It could be a matter of the autonomous. I know that we said that both of the robots on one side, or one of the robots over here on the red side, scored in the autonomous, but they didn't have a signal sleeve. That's just unfortunate because it's leaving points on the table.
Yeah, yep. I would be hard pressed to see how many generic sleeves are around next match or next time we all meet. Definitely got a judges conference going on here. Again, this is a great opportunity for these young players to get an education from our head ref here on what to do, what not to do, what counts, what's a penalty, what isn't a penalty.
I think what they're going over right here is you're allowed, the human player on each side is allowed to introduce 1 cone or 1 beacon at a time. You can stack your beacon or your team scoring element on top of the cone, but you cannot introduce them together. And you cannot smash your scoring element on top of the cone.
So you can just place it on there, but you can't.
You can drop it on, but you cannot push it in. Yes.
Got it.
And yes, that is usually you're not allowed to score. You're not allowed to control more than 1 scoring element at a time. In this instance, you can grab both of them.
All right, I think we're ready on field number 2.
Field number 2 has a blue alliance of 7172 technical difficulties, teamed with our newest team, the Metal Manipulators out of Flower Mound, Texas. They're going against the red alliance of Vikings and Captain Tech. So we've got 1 veteran team and 1 rookie team on each alliance. That's one of the things I absolutely love about FTC is watching how these veteran teams, these teams that have been around for a while, especially the community teams that have a lot of continuity over the years, and how they mentor or work with the teams that might be a little bit newer, a little bit wet behind the ears, and make sure that they get make sure that they're competing at their highest level.
Yeah, it will be exciting. Yeah, 7172 on the Blue Alliance. These matches go really fast. There's a lot of time in between to go do a lot of tweaks. This is pretty minor stuff. These teams are right back to it relatively quickly.
And they have been running a really, really impressive schedule today. It's been really, really tight. I think we're doing well. We're doing well.
On technical difficulties is the only team with a custom sleeve on this one. But I think you're right. There's going to be an impressive thing to watch once they've got that dialed in with that reacher. Just stacking in one spot and hitting that stack that's already preset.
We got final result number 9. Blue Alliance wins. Final score 77 to 73. Whoa, 3
That
points, and
was
it all came with a 10-point red penalty.
Over here on field number 2, both red robots are moving into some position. Technical difficulties, ramming a pole over.
It's going to be really hard to score when it's over at a 45-degree angle like that.
That's okay. They'll get that dialed in pretty soon.
It's like moving your own basket out of the way right before you take a free throw.
And this is unusual. We've been talking about those small footprint bots, and technical difficulties is a very large footprint bot.
You know, that is interesting. I think it's because I know that team and how much time and effort they put into it. They are absolutely going to practice. And we actually, I was able to attend a practice session with their team one time. It was incredibly impressive. The dedication those kids have, it's incredibly, it's scary almost.
Well, what's interesting is that they got that 2-part arm. The bottom part can be getting another cone while the top one's still scoring. So they can.
Well,
almost
you can.
grab.
They cannot hold 2 cones at once. So as long as one of the cones is in their grip or trying to locate the pole to score on there, they've got to make sure that they don't extend out and touch the other cone. I would be really interested to see how that driving control. So most robots, you basically got a driver and a gunner. Your driver's just maneuvering around the field. Your gunner is controlling the arm. I doubt that's how this one is going to I doubt that that's how this one works.
Well, they've got 30 points on that toll pole right there, and now they're just going to stack it from now this 90-degree turn, and off they go again. They just get into position, go and drop. They're just a little off right now, though. I really can't see it. The Red Alliance has got a stack on that middle
Captain
cone.
Tech, yes. Captain Tech has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 7 on the medium pole or the medium junction, and they're going for 8. We still have 30 seconds left in this match.
They're gonna give
Those
a
2
run for it.
robots are just fighting back and forth to see who can score the most.
This is where your alliance partner really can be a big help. You may have a strong bot, but you need your partner to come through and give you that extra nudge.
Captain Tech, I think, they've got one on their side. They can't quite fix it, but they're going to go for another. Oh, they're going to go for a low.
And it looks like, just missed. Technical difficulty, swung around to get control of another pole to get those bonus points for having the last one on it. So keep stacking on the same one.
Right. Yes, you get an extra 3-point bonus if your cone is on top of a junction. So having your cones as spread out as possible can be a huge advantage.
Well, they got quite a few cones to score on that one. As they wrap up that one, folks, our match over here on field number 1 to your left is getting ready to start.
And this one features an old LISD rivalry. We've got the Battle of the Axe, but robotic. It's going to have Chuckleheads versus Louisville High School.
That is a rivalry that is beyond time here locally, I'll tell you that.
What about it?
Oh, we've got a signal sleeve for Epic Adventures. Epic Adventures, come on up towards the booth. On the table right here behind field number 1 is your signal sleeve. Still tallying scores over there on field number 2. On field number 1, we have one customized sleeve, it looks like. Oh, and we've got some field repair going on here. Watch out.
They were having some issues with that during the morning session as well. I think what happens is when these ground junctions get rolled over enough, they start to pop up. And they're supposed to be snug against the mat, tight enough to where a push bot can just glide an upright cone directly onto the junction without actually having to lift it up at all. If that becomes no longer the case, then they do have to fix these. Thankfully, it just requires a zip tie.
Right.
And you're good in most cases.
Well, if Coach McCluskey gets us done Buffalo and help clear up a football field, they could use some field work up there.
Match number 10, final score is 78. Blue Lion 78, Red Lion 60.
That driver control zone, 11 points right there. Difference is the blue team had 11-point gain in that section.
Right, and even though the autonomous as well, you got 8 points there. That's that entire match. End game was really close. It was only a 1-point difference, and actually a 1-point advantage for the Red Alliance.
And no penalties assessed, so that was a very clean match. Randomization comes up with a 4. So it'll be drivers left. And like I said, one custom element here on that, so.
And I'm not sure that their camera was working, so I think they're going to actually just head to zone number 2.
That's the Louisville team right there. It's got the custom
yes.
Fortunate enough to host a community event with the Louisville team this summer at Western Days. Great squad they've got over there at Louisville.
There's Casey McCluskey holding a Kit Kat.
All right, you're right. Louisville High School team. Looks like they're moved, but they are not going to the right parking spot. Oh, no, that's right. 4 straight ahead. Those are both straight ahead.
No, 4 is to the left.
To
4
the left,
and 1.
Right. 4 is left. Driver's left. So
the teams want 2 and 5. 2 and 5 are the lucky.
Right. So looks like we got no scores here for parking on the right spot.
Right. RoboGuard out of Bullard, Texas did the same thing. I'm not sure if they've got an actual camera working or not.
All right, let's see.
Chuckleheads gets there. Now they've got a sort of weird inverted claw design as well.
Yeah, they've got the internal gripper, but they also have a unique U-shaped bot, so they can kind of go around the pole when they need to get her in.
And you'll notice that both of these robots, neither of these robots are equipped to pick up a cone once it's knocked over. Ooh, Chuckleheads gets a penalty right there. They accidentally picked up 2 cones from their depot.
Yep, they did. See if they can just get one this time around. The Red Alliance partner.
There they go. All right, they've got it figured out. So hopefully they can score enough points to negate that penalty.
Yeah, well, they're going for 2 tall scoring positions.
And they're spreading the cones out.
Boy, it is really tricky to pick these
It
cones
especially
up,
it's tricky to pick up off the stack once you've got the when you've got that inverted claw.
Yeah, picking up from the inside, I can see how. Grab a couple. All right, we're in the last 30 seconds of the match.
Error 422's. It looks like a piece of their wheel came off. Not sure quite what happened there. Louisville looks content just to sling into the corner and park. So that's going to be points for their autonomous if they can stay put.
Chucklehead's got 10 seconds to try to score one more.
They're going to go hot. Okay, did they score on?
Oh.
Oh, they just miss on a high junction.
That's it. Preliminary scoring 23 for the Red Alliance, 6 for the Blue. Let's see what the tally comes up to. Meanwhile, over in field number 2, folks, on your right, got a couple teams ready to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how many penalties are going to be awarded to the Red Alliance on that one, but the Blue will pick up some points there.
Yeah, well, we know the Chuckleheads got called for 1 for sure, maybe 2. What is the penalty for picking up multiple cones?
If you're picking up 2 cones or controlling 2 cones at once, it's a 10-point penalty. That's a minor penalty. That's going to be one of the penalties that you see assessed more often. During the early matches, there was that, and there was human player error. If the human player does anything to introduce more than 1 cone or more than 1 scoring element at a time, they can get a penalty. If they try to pick up a cone that's on its side, that's a penalty. And really, most of these penalties that are assessed on the human player are for their safety. It's to make sure they don't put their fingers in harm's way.
Gotcha. I like the size of the Blue Alliance number there. 2, 2, 6, 7, 3. I don't know if you can see that, but that's pretty large.
We got fun.
Coming up, folks. We have a Red Alliance winner. That's going to be the Chuckleheads and the Red Alliance at 35. And the Blue Alliance with 10. All right, coming up on field number 2, folks. We've got the Red Alliance, the Marvels of Moss, and the Vikings up against Prototype and Epic Adventurer representing the Blue Alliance. Both teams moving on autonomous. Both blue robots.
Vikings looks like they're trying to score a cone. Slow and steady. Do they make it on? Oh, it bounces off the top, just rims out. That's unfortunate.
That is indeed. But they did get some points for parking in the right spot, Blue Alliance.
3, 2, 1.
Let's see if they can not rim out when they got human control here.
Absolutely. Now, the Marvels of Moss robot, this is interesting. Most of these chassis you'll see are from sort of kits that come from a number of different companies, be them Rev, Go Build, several others. Their robot chassis is built out of a plastic that is laser cut. So they and then used a I believe they said it was a sort of CNC machine with a laser drill to get it cut. Really, really cool. And that's the kind of innovation that we really love to see.
They've got an interesting grabber as well. Kind of fits over the top. Whoa.
You know, it almost looks like a design
Jeez.
from one of the Alien movies, like something from H.R. Geiger.
Yeah, and then this Blue Alliance arm flipped over and nearly hit one of their team members.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be a minor penalty because you're not allowed to reach outside of the ring. I'm not I don't know if they're continuing to get penalties as long as they're out or what they need to do, but that did come over with a pretty forceful slam there. They're able to get moving again. All right.
Yep, they are back in action. But I think they're a little behind due to that. Now the Blue Alliance is trailing 21-51 in our live scoring. They got a lot of cones on the ground there. Oh, they just scored one.
Oh, and that's that robot that has that ability to score a cone from either position, inverted or.
The marvels of Maz, their gripper just dropped one as it ran over something, and that vibration, you can see you got to have a good grip on those things, or you're going to run over a ground junction or something, and you're going to lose that cone. They're trying to take control of. Oh, they just missed it. They almost took control of this cone here, right in front of the blue headquarters.
Security.
Phone home. All right, folks, if you want to get a snack, the snack bar is going to shut down at 3:15. So you got 12 minutes to get over there and get any snack bar you might need.
Police. There's a crazy man creeping outside my window, to quote the Dave Matthews Band. Vikings looked like they were having a little bit of trouble over here in the corner. I couldn't quite see what they were doing, but there were a few cones knocked over.
Well, that's going to be, cone management is going to be an important feature for these teams, especially when they got those tall stacks. Once you knock that over, how many grippers have you seen being able to pick up cones that have been on their sides?
You know what? I've only seen a couple of them today actually be able to do it, and all of the ones that were able to do it, it was just because when the cone landed on its side, it landed in a very fortuitous position.
Yeah, these refs and these scoring judges still have their work cut out for them.
Yes, they do. So in match number 13, we're about to get started. With Red Alliance, we've got Metal Manipulators and Javanauts, two rookie teams. Metal Manipulators are out of Flower Mound, Texas, and Javanauts are out of Irving. Then we have Louisville High School teamed with a rookie team of Syntech out of Frisco, Texas.
And Syntech's been performing very well for a rookie team.
Yes, they are. They're ranked 5th so far for the afternoon session, and they've gotten all the way up to 17th after only completing, I believe this is going to be their 3rd match of the afternoon, or 4th. We have final score on Red Alliance wins with a final score 56-26.
All right. Our randomization's up. We got score of 1, which is going to be drivers left for this match coming up in field number 1. And we did get a last-second drop of a custom sleeve for the Louisville High School team. So if they can park in the right spot, that's a 10-point bonus for that sleeve.
Yes, it is.
A Louisville robot certainly moved fast on that thing to park.
Syntech looks like it made it to the correct zone. That's going to be 10 points for the Blue Alliance. Unfortunately, their teammate, Protractors, out of Louisville High School, do not manage to get there to the correct zone. Interesting point. The Louisville High School football team yesterday managed to advance in the playoffs. They're going to be competing against the winner of today's match in, I believe, the semifinals. They're the area champions. They shut out Arlington Martin 10-0.
Wow. Well, here we've got No shutouts here. We've got teams scoring on both sides. Tall cones for red and blue.
Javanauts goes up top. They've got that gripper, and it's working very, very well.
You know, they are pretty stable at height, too. I don't know how they managed to do that. A lot of these robots are around, but they're pretty stable at height.
That comes with driver practice. You'll notice that when their arm is fully extended, they're not driving anywhere. They're lucky they're not. They're looking like they're not having any trouble with strings. I know some of the robots this morning that have those elevator lifts were having a lot of issues with strings breaking or snagging or coiling. The same kind of things that you expect to see in a fishing pole happen on these some of these lifts.
I don't know what you're talking about. Never get kinks in my line. Louisville just scores one on the tall pole.
Syntec and Louisville look like they need a little help getting on the same page. Syntec's trying to score. It looked like they were trying to score on the ground junction there, and then they decided not to. Oh, they're going for a high junction. Can't quite see. Did they get on there?
Can't quite tell. Oh, now they're this. There we go. We've got control.
Javanauts goes for the beacon. Oh, Javanauts knocks their team scoring element over, unfortunately. Meaning they're not going to be able to cap with that one. Now, they are going to be able to use their alliance partners to cap. You can only score one team scoring element per team.
There we go, and they did. They took control of a beacon or a tall pole with that scoring element.
So that's a 10-point bonus. Were they able to get it off of the was it one that had the blue scored? Yeah.
It did, yeah.
So
that
overall is a 13-point swing for the Red Alliance.
It looked like a pretty evenly scored match. Our auto scoring's at 57 to 51. We'll see what the final tally comes up to. We have the discussion of some penalties going on here. Meanwhile, over in field number 2, we are almost ready to kick off that match between the Chuckleheads and the Marvels of Moss as the Blue Alliance against the Red Alliance of Technical Difficulties and RoboGuard. We've got 2 custom sleeves on that, Technical Difficulties and the Marvels of Moss both have customized sleeves for their autonomous feature. Still some discussion here with the refs on the previous match here as they're tallying up the scores. Quite a stack of red cones on that tall element there. That's a lot. That's 5, it looks like to me.
Yes, it looks like 5 from here as well. So that's 25 points plus 3 for controlling the junction. We also have an alliance marker on the field right behind Emily's foot. I don't know which team that belongs to, but somebody needs to collect it before we clear for the next round.
Getting ready to randomize here over on field number 2. Oh, and they got the lucky roll here. Straight up.
All right, final score 13. We've got the Blue Alliance winning with a final score of 77 to 51.
Well, that's bumping up the Louisville High School team and their counterpart in this instance, Syntec.
Oh, here we go, match number 14.
Well, both Red Alliance teams are moving into position. Technical difficulties going to try to score. They missed.
RoboGuards just managed to get in the right zone, so they're going to take that 10 points.
And they're going to get 20 for technical difficulties because they had a custom sleeve. Meanwhile, the Blue Alliance has no autonomous features for either bot. So that's a 30-point hole.
You know, and with points being at a premium that they are this early in the season, that's going to be a near impossible to climb out of, unless they can convince their opponents in this match to score a ton of penalties.
Right. That's not going to happen. Not with these teams.
Come on, technical difficulties. Go knock over that stack, please.
The Marvels of Moss grabbing and scoring. Chuckleheads going for some scoring. Now the Chuckleheads are over there gathering from a similar spot as technical difficulties. If they were to impede technical difficulties reach, would that be a penalty?
If they were to, if they're intentionally blocking them and not in the process of trying to score anything, then yes, it would be. But as long as what you're doing, and you can make a reasonable argument to the judges that you're trying to score, then no, it's not. You just can't stop the other team from trying to score.
Well, RoboGuard is definitely got some tipping when they stop. That driver control piece you're talking about, when they're moving and they stop quickly, they're definitely rocking.
Well, and that's one of those things where you've got to have a lot of practice. You know, a lot of the coaches on a lot of these teams are engineers at heart, so they love tinkering with the robot. You've got to have the discipline to where your robot is ready to go at least a week in advance, and you're not doing any kind of last-minute tinkering or anything. So you've got plenty of time to practice driving, so that your driver and your gunner and your coach can all be on the same page. And the human player as well. Training the human player this year.
And the Blue Alliance has been picking up a lot of points here during driver mode. They were 30 points in the hole after the beginning.
Right. Preliminary scoring has them switching back and forth.
Oh, Chuckleheads just missed dropping one on a tall scorer. And it might have been technical difficulty snuck it in there just after they missed. Wow, that one's going to be tight, folks.
I think technical difficulties was having some, I hate to say this pun because it comes up every year, technical difficulties. Hey. I made it 75% into this day without using that one. Give me some credit. I'm getting a round of applause from Raider Prime. Thank you very much. We love you. Go Winsboro. No, they were having some issues scoring, which is what allowed the Blue Alliance there to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, you missed 3 or 4 scores in a row. That's a lot of time the other teams can be scoring.
Well, and really what the advantage is there is, and I'm not sure if the teams from the Blue Alliance got together and decided this together, or if one team was really concentrating on it more than the others or anything, but you look at the number of different junctions that the Blue Alliance scored on, and they really spread out the wealth. So that's 3 extra points on each one of those junctions.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got the final score on match number. Blue Alliance actually pulls out the win despite the autonomous hole with a final score of 83-5.
Wow, that end game, 42 points in the end game. That last 30 seconds, they were just on point.
All right, and in match number 15, Callisburg's off to an early start, and they missed that high junction again. Ouch.
As did the Raider Prime team. They just missed as well, dropping a cone during the autonomous phase.
Unfortunately, I missed the randomization. I'm not sure which zone they're supposed to be parked in for the bonus on this one. They were supposed to be parked in 2? Okay.
Drivers, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Red Alliance scores on a short pole. Very quick.
Human player for, what was it, 22? For Captain Tech. Looked like he was dangerously close to getting a minor penalty there. He had his arm close to the line when the robots were approaching. Calsburg scores a high junction. They've actually got
Going for a third.
Raider Prime manages
And
to
they
get a
get
high
it.
junction.
It's a tight match. Blue Alliance trying to pick up a few points here. Red Alliance is definitely going for scoring all over, where the blue team is stacking on a tall pole there. Now they got 4 on that one right there. Almost spoke too soon.
I was about to say, they're going to have all the daggers coming your direction if you jinx that one.
All right, so the Red Alliance is going for the corners. They've got one corner.
They've got the far corner. So all they have to do is shovel into the near corner, and they've got to connect 4 at this point. If you're looking at the scoring screen above us,
I saw a red flag flying for a penalty. So when they fly the red flag, there's a penalty on the red.
that is a penalty on the red team. Yes, and we don't. We usually do not get to hear what that is. Oh, let's see. Looks like. Looks like the Winsboro team, they do manage to get their beacon on top of that 5 top, so that Calsburg had the 5 on the high junction. That's worth 25 points. They didn't get the 3-point bonus because of the cap from the Raider Prime team.
And that is a unique cap in that red scoring element there.
And they made the announcement earlier today that they were a little lax for today's matches as far as the design of your scoring element, but anything that looks too much like a cone will not be allowed at the next meet. So that's a really excellent looking design. I like it a lot. I don't know if it's got any significance with to the team, but
all right, well, coming up on field number 2, folks, we've got the Red Alliance of the Chuckleheads of Marcus High School partnered up with the Javanauts
out
of Irving.
And they're going against the Vikings out of Lamar High School in Arlington, Texas, and Epic Adventurer, which is a community team out of Plano.
I love those Viking hats. Look at that.
That's the kind of team spirit we've been looking for. Any kind of headgear is always appreciated.
There we go. There we go.
Kind of reminds me of a movie that's a little bit too old for Moses' crowd, but History of the World Part 1, where the Vikings take their helmets off and their horns are still attached to their heads.
There we go. We got driver side right randomized for the match coming up. And only one custom sleeve on the Blue Alliance side for Epic Adventurer.
Now, Epic Adventurer is one of the teams that they said they had a turret. I didn't get a good look at how well it worked in the earlier matches. Hopefully, I'll get a better review of that today, or right now.
So as I'm looking at the Red Alliance here, they've got looks like one player from the Javanauts is going to place the cones in that supply depot for both Red Alliance teams. I don't see 2 of their team members down there on the ground to do that. That's okay?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Well, the Javanauts has got one guy, looks like he's handling the cones that are outside the arena to drop in. He can drop them for both Red Alliance teams.
Yes, each alliance is actually only allowed to have one human player. So what your team has to do is find your partner in the pit, say, hey, do you have a good human player? If not, ours, and the human player knowing both teams and what they need is going to be very, very crucial. We had one match this morning where the human player was very used to putting the cone in a very specific spot for their team. Our team really couldn't pick up the cone very well from that spot, and communication sort of broke down. That ended up costing us probably at least 3 on a high junction, just because we spent so much time shuffling the cone around and not really able to pick it up.
All right, we got from match 15, and the Red Alliance takes this one. 102 to 81. That's a high-scoring affair. 40 penalty points awarded to the red team. That was the difference for sure.
Well, no, because the red penalties, the Red Alliance scored 102 points. They also scored 40 points in penalties.
Me, yeah,
that was awarded to the blue.
Right.
So even though they scored all of those penalties, they were still able to pull out the win. That's
impressive. That's like 142 points, but they gave up 40.
And Raider Prime has catapulted themselves to 3rd place in the league. That means they are not only in first for the group of the 17 teams we have here right now, but also the other 16 teams that we had competing this morning.
And they are done. They're matched out.
Okay, so that's probably where they're going to finish for this afternoon. There haven't been any teams that have been just so dominant that they have 4 wins so far, I don't think. Do we have... No.
2 5-0s from this morning's sessions.
Right. We have 2 5-0s from this morning.
We've got 2 3-0s still in the afternoon here.
16-7-5-6.
Okay.
15 what?
16 7 5 6.
Raider Prime, yes.
I got one more. Oh, okay. I was looking at the wrong thing.
I'm sorry, we were looking at the wrong team.
That's weird. That's not matching up. All right. Oh, we got somebody in the question box. So, folks, you're going to notice when we have a player standing on that question box, that yellow tile just in front of the bleachers, that is a player who has a question for the referees. Part of the tenets of being in first is gracious professionalism. This is it at its finest. We graciously wait and have that discussion with those referees when we do have a question. All right, we're getting ready to start over here. It looks like over here in ring number 2 momentarily, folks. These matches go by fast, don't they? You blink and it's almost over. As soon as that one's done, we're all queued up for our match in ring number 1. All right, I think our snack bar is officially closed, folks. So thank you very much for supporting the Marcus Robotics Booster Club with your snack purchases. We do appreciate that. We will be here for every meet, so you won't starve when you come to the Marcus Robotics Institute to have a good time. All right, we're stretching out our fingers on the Chuckleheads team. They're getting ready for this, getting their dexterity ready to go.
No. All right, while the judges are doing that, let's give a big round of applause to Lawn Cherry Homes, our program delivery partner over here.
Way to go.
You guys aren't clapping really loud enough. You guys obviously all want to be disqualified for something. There you go. Come on. Teach the kids how to kiss up. That's the important thing right now.
There we go. As mentioned, looks like I only have one.
Custom signal sleeve.
There we go. Custom signal sleeve, and they scored a cone.
The Vikings out of Lamar High School are trying to score on that low.
They are trying to score as well. Let's see.
Ouch.
Oh,
Just barely misses. They've done that a couple times. It's just fractions of a millimeter off.
It's just a matter of some programming tweaks.
Drivers, pick up the controller.
Or hardware tweaks, or both.
And if the important thing here is making sure you start your robot in exactly the same position every single time. And again, you're talking about just fractions of an inch to the left or to the right can be the difference between scoring on that low junction, which is 3 points, or dropping it and going home empty-handed.
All right. Well, we got some activity. We got some Red Alliance team scoring here. We've got a couple of tall elements being scored quickly, while the Blue Alliance, just dropped another one and rimmed off that low scoring element there.
Trying to get a good look at Epic Adventure and their system to see how well it's going. Looks like their drivers are having a little bit of issue navigating into the substation to get a cone.
And it's also like we were talking about, they're just getting congestion there. They're both trying to get serviced out of that spot, and it's hard to get them in there.
The teams need to make sure that they're communicating, that they're working together, and like you were talking about with the gracious professionalism, that they're talking to each other, not just yelling at each other or barking orders. Especially because we do have middle school and high school and community teams. You want to make sure that the high school teams aren't just lording over the middle school teams.
Absolutely. Well, meanwhile, the Red Alliance has got pretty firm scores across. They got 4 on one tall element.
And I can see that Chuckleheads, they have another low, they've got another high and a medium.
They might be going, they can finish it up.
Well, they're going to try to score on the high over here. They need one in the terminal and one, and then one near the terminal to finish that circuit off.
And of course, right now, those are all bonus points because they've got the control of so many different poles.
Yes, so each one of those is going to be worth 3, and if they can get a beacon on one of them, it'll be worth 10.
And it's 5 for the base score of that tall cone, so that's 8 if you control it.
Right. Scoring one on the high, if you got the top one on the high, that cone ends up becoming worth 8 total points.
Wow, it's a tight match. Preliminary scoring's got the Red Alliance at 69 to 53.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 more matches this afternoon. We would invite you when we are finished today to please help straighten up. The one advantage the Roboplex has is we don't have to tear down the fields, pack everything up. I invite you to make sure that you don't leave any trash or tools or phones, or actually if you want to leave a phone behind, just make sure you write my name on the back.
Absolutely.
Does Walmart still have that kiosk where you can just
recycle it?
Give them away? Yeah, they give you like $20.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys cleaning up your pit areas for sure. We do have a volunteer team that's going to have to come clean. If we can let those folks get home soon, that would be fantastic.
Final score in match number 16. We've got the Red Alliance score 69, the Blue Alliance score 58.
Wow, the Chuckleheads rising in the ranks. They're ranked 4th for the league right now. There it is, the Chuckleheads chant.
Epic Adventures are up to 7th in the league. I think that supplants Hedrick Garage, or the Robo Wranglers.
Couple matches left. We'll see how the finals stack up here after our first meet. How many league meets do we have this season?
We have 3 league meets and then a tournament. So what you really need in order to be to look at getting past the league meets is to have at least 10 wins out of your 15 matches.
All right, who do we got in this matchup here? What do you got?
The Red Alliance has RoboGuard, again, out of Bullard, Texas, teamed with Syntech, the community team from Frisco, Texas. They are going up against Epic Adventures. No. Is it Epic Adventures? I'm sorry, I can barely see that. No. Sorry, Prototype out of Flower Mound, Texas, the rookie team from Flower Mound High School. And 22083 Captain Tech.
Captain
038,
Tech out of Frisco.
sorry.
Out of Frisco, there we go.
Drivers, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
All right, here we go.
Captain Tech's going for a low. Scores it quickly and easily. Syntech is going for, is that a
The Blue
high?
Alliance tried to come in and take that low ground beacon, but couldn't quite get it placed in front of the Red Supply Depot there.
This is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if that's going to be a penalty or not, when the blue dropped a cone into the scoring, into the substation of the Red Alliance. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to take up real estate, but we'll see how the judges rule on that. Syntech is going to try to pick up a cone off of the stack in the depot on the far side away from the... And then they're going to try to take that medium away from the Blue Alliance. That's cheeky.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm starting to practice my British slang since we're getting ready for soccer season.
That's it. That is it. This is the pitch.
United
pitch
States.
number 1, pitch number 2.
United States plays England at 1 o'clock on Monday. I'm looking forward to it since I've got the week off.
Red Alliance scoring another cone.
Syntech.
Blue Alliance dropping cones.
Syntex look like, I think they're trying to put together a circuit. They've got quite a few all over the place.
That could be
Blue's
true.
trying to get the medium over here. I think they almost look like they're trying to complete a circuit as well.
Yeah, we got a red cone over here in the corner.
And that's one of the fun things this year. It is actually possible for both alliances to score a circuit. And we've talked before about how FTC games tend not to be very defensive oriented. You can
8 seconds left. Oh,
you
it's white
can
there.
come in and defensively cap the other alliance's junction to de-score their circuit.
Right. Well, pretty heavy red score on that one. All right, over here on field number 2, folks, we are just about ready to go. Can't quite tell who we got over here competing. We got the team from Winsboro, Raider Prime, on the Red Alliance.
And they are with Air 422 out of Flower Mound, Texas.
All right, that makes up the Red Alliance. I can't quite tell who we got on the Blue Alliance.
It says Marvels of Moss and the Metal Manipulators, another Flower Mound, Texas team.
All right, Flower Mound, always putting out some quality teams. Oh, coffee machine's going away. Sad.
Oh, you know, it's after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I switched my coffee over to Dr. Pepper.
All right, randomizing in field number 2.
And we have a 6, meaning that the teams need to park in zone 3. In other words, they need to come forward between 2 and 4 feet and then go to the right.
And I'm always looking for any of those custom sleeves. None in this in this instance. So hopefully we get in some teams that park in the right spots. Is it common for every team to kind of preload that cone?
We didn't see a whole lot of that during this morning's matches. We're seeing a little bit more of it this afternoon. I expect that by the time we get to the tournament in late March and early February, you're going to see quite a few teams. My team, for example, we didn't quite have our program ready to go on that, but really, it's just a matter of reversing positions on our claw so that instead of 0 being closed, it's open and we can load it that way.
Here we go. We got like one robot trying to score a cone during autonomous on the Red Alliance, and they do.
Raider Prime manages to get on a high junction. Let's see if they get to their the proper. Oh, they're trying to. I'm not sure if they were trying to pick up a cone there, or if they were just trying to get into the zone.
Looks like into the zone to me, but hard to tell. But they did score a cone. And they've got 14 points awarded, so I'm guessing.
So yes, they did get into their park zone. We'll see if that 14-0 lead becomes the difference between. It makes a difference in how this match finishes.
That's it. Well, Marvels of Maz is already dropping on the near cone. We've seen them just go for those rapid points historically today. Oh, and their partner is just having a hard time holding on to the cones. They're dropping them. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow, it hung up there for a bit and then fell over. Oh, the knocked over a stack. So they're going to have to abandon that. They don't have a claw that can pick up cones from the side. That's one of those unfortunate things, too. If your strategy is to pick up from that stack, and if you're not able to pick it up when it's knocked over.
Right, and then all of a sudden those cones become dead. Now you do have a depot on the other side that you can draw from. I think a lot of teams are avoiding that because picking these cones up requires so much depth perception, and you really don't have it because you're not lining yourself up to the cone, you're lining your robot up to the cone. You've got to make sure that you can get into the right, you get the robot into the right position, and it's just kind of hard to judge where exactly that is based on where you're, based on sort of an overhead view.
So Marvels of Moss is capped over someone else on the medium pole. Now they did miss with one of the blue cones just sitting over there. They couldn't score in that corner. That's only for red scoring.
Right. You're not allowed to score in the other team's terminal. Meanwhile, Raider Prime scored on a nearby low junction. I think they're trying to complete a circuit over here.
That's true. They got scores in both corners, so they're close. Now, do they have to cap over one of those blue ones to get it?
You know what? I don't think they do. I think that they still have that. It's still technically connecting. Oh wait, no. You know what? You're right. They actually probably do.
Well, I don't think we got the circuit on that one. We do got the blue team scoring on several different poles, but I think we got a stack of reds.
Right, and I'm not sure if Error 422 in the corner over there unscored their cone or not when they went to park. I don't know how the referees are going to score that, but it looked like it got really, really close. They did manage to get in. There's a 2-point parking bonus.
And folks, our final match of the day is just brewing over here in field number 1, ring number 1. This will be the final match of the day.
And I'm really looking forward to this. This is 4 teams that I've gotten to know quite well this afternoon. On the Red Alliance, we've got Louisville High School, a.k.a. the Protractors. And they're teamed with technical difficulties. So you got 2 teams that have 4-digit team numbers. That means these teams have been in this league for quite a while. Their opponents today are 2 very impressive robots, Syntech and Callisburg RoboCats out of Callisburg High School. We've got the final score 18. We talked about whether or not that 14-point
And the Red Alliance just holds on.
that 14-point autonomous did turn out to be the difference between a win and a loss for Raider Prime.
And that puts them up to top rank for the day so far. And third in the league. Pending this final result, we'll see how the final rankings settle out. It's a fantastic day for Raider Prime.
Absolutely, and I know they've got a lot to go back. Winsboro's, they said, a 2-hour drive from here, but they've got a lot to be proud of on that ride. I know I've been to a lot of these meets, a lot of early mornings, a lot of late afternoons. Those drives are a lot more fun when you've had a good afternoon.
Absolutely. No, they're going to be, I think, partying the whole way back. Customized sleeves on this autonomous phase. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, RoboCats, just barely misses that high junction again. And then they managed to park in zone 3.
Well, now they're moving.
Oh.
Trying to score another, maybe trying to score again.
Oh, but they didn't quite grab it.
All right.
Okay, now they're looked like they're
Drivers,
parked
pick up your
almost in zone 1, but it looks like their tire might be slightly over. I think they might not get credit.
We'll have to wait and see how they score that, how the judges go.
I'm getting a thumbs up from the referee, but I'm not sure if that's a thumbs up as in yes, they got in, or a thumbs up as in no, you're right, they weren't quite, they were slightly over the line, I should say.
All right.
Speak the speech, Hamlet, trippingly over the tongue.
Syntec dropping a 5-point score on a tall pole. Oh! Blue Alliance just dropped one. Meanwhile, 2 is doing their rapid fire. Oh, they can't quite get it in the right spot. They're just
need a
off.
slight adjustment. And, that's one of those things with those Mechanism wheels. If all you have to move is like a 1/4 of an inch, that is nearly impossible to do because those wheels do slip a bit. They do not exactly have the best traction.
All right, 7172 starting to stack them up on that tall pole. They're going for 4. That's going to be 20 points. Pretty. Oh.
Oh, you jinxed him. Patrick, his name is spelled D-O-N. No. Okay, see, they make the adjustment there. That's really good. That's that kind of drive training that we expect out of that team. What he did right there was he dropped his arm slightly to make sure the cone was all the way over. Cost him a couple of seconds, but it's better than not coming down with a score at all.
On the blue team is Scrappy. They are both scoring points here and there and trying to get caught up. Plus, they're controlling more poles, so those extra 3-point control bonuses might help square them away. But looks like both.
Yes, that end game has absolutely been killer for a few teams so far today. I'll be surprised to see how that how teams take that into consideration. Even though a lot of teams have said that they're not actually going to try to score the circuit, that they're going to be a lot happier. Now, I can't tell from this angle whether or not technical difficulties arm, when they extend out like that, is going over that low junction or the ground junction there. That might be something that teams do as well to interrupt their progress.
Oh, yeah. That's that defensive opportunity right there. Well, it looks like the Blue Alliance knocked over both of their stacks from their supply depots, which made them probably dependent on
the substation. Yes. All right, preliminary scoring has the Blue Alliance with a score of 76, the Red Alliance with a score of 43. Again, those scores are not final, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how it all tallies out. Let's see, do we have the blue one locked over here? Yes, we do.
Oh, we've got a lost phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were told if you lose your phone, you're supposed to put my name on the back of it so that I can trade it in for credit.
Ashal Kashif.
Oh, never mind. There is a name on this. It's Ashal Kashif. Ashal Kashif.
We have a lucky winner. Any winner
We found your phone case. I mean, we've got the final score for the last match, ladies and gentlemen. Blue Alliance wins. Final score 76-45. Gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for coming out. Let's give these boys and girls a big round of applause.
Thank you, folks.
Bigger.
Fold up
Bigger.
your tables. Fold up your chairs in the pits,
All right.
folks.
Please help us out by folding up your tables and chairs, helping us get everything put away. We look forward to seeing you back here December 10th.
December 10th? Yep. So next meet, December 10th. Put it in your calendars, folks.